is AEW Unrestricted, the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling. I am Will Washington, and I am never alone here on this show because, honestly, the veteran of AEW Unrestricted remains here. She is the one and only Aubrey Edwards.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's true. I've only missed one episode because I was deathly ill, and you and Tony were like, "Get the hell out of here!" I'm like, okay, bye. So, however many episodes we have, minus one. That's my jam. But yeah, I'm so happy that you're here and that I get to do this with you. And it's one of my favorite parts of the week, us getting to chat with all the AEW people, talent, staff, all this fun stuff. And the people that make that fun stuff possible are Upper Deck, our amazing sponsors of this podcast. The AEW SP Game Use set is available now. And for the first ever AEW release packed with autographs, tech cards, real match used relics, including the fork that Hangman pulled right from his boot. We get, stuff straight from the ring, championship gear, event banners. You can grab your box at a local hobby store, hit up Upper Deck to find a store near you. I want to shout out Upper Deck because they gave us these awesome ones, the first round of the SP Game Used set.
Oh, yeah.
But they also just sent these new ones, the SP Signature Edition.
Yes.
Which sounds like a really fancy Vegas hotel. And then reading the box, it's like, okay, there's one pack per box, and there's only 3 cards. But like one of the things that I always find the most exciting about cards is knowing when you're opening a pack, you're going to get like 1 or 2 really awesome ones. And these have like legitimately every card is like super important and valuable and unique. So there's quite a few. And I'm going to open mine here.
Yep. Ooh. I just opened this pack right here. And
what do you got? What do you got? What do you got?
Look at that. Oh, what a collection. Look at this. All right, you ready for this? I got Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter. Ooh, fun.
Yep. And then I got Queen Aminata.
Hell yeah.
And Julia Hart.
Julia Hart. Okay.
Signature.
All great
Julia
people.
Hart, by the way.
Signature Julia Hart. I got some pretty fun cards here. So let's see. We've got a Kyle O'Reilly. Specifically, this one is numbered. It is 45 of 99. So that one's going to be worth something. I also have this awesome dual autograph card. This is Claudio Castagnoli and Samoa Joe, both autographed, which is awesome. Getting 1 autograph on a card is already awesome, let alone 2. And this might be the favorite card I've ever pulled. This is card 146 of 249. Mansoor.
Oh.
Which, if you're watching the video version, this is just a fun little... I don't know. I honestly don't know if he's naked behind this. I really don't. He could be.
You never know with old Mansoor here, but yeah, very well could be.
Mansoor, I love it. I also love it because there's so much like we know about the people that work at AEW, and then part of why I love these conversations is learning more about them and the behind the scenes and how their minds work and how their minds have changed and grown over the course of the year. So let's just get right to it, Will. Who is our guest today?
Aubrey, we are joined by a man who has not been here on the podcast since August of 2021. So we're going on like 4.5 years here.
It's before your time, man.
Yeah, I know, right? But I am so happy to have him here because we have missed him so much in AEW, and it has been such a pleasure to see him back on our screens. Ladies and gentlemen, Ortiz.
Yay!
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, guys.
Well, first off, we got to start with, I've talked to you personally about this, but, how does it feel being back here in AEW?
Oh, man, really good. It was a long journey, almost 2 years since I was on television. And, I felt every minute of that. But it feels really good because I've been working really hard during that time off. And I'm just excited to be able to show everyone, and show the payoff and just, it's just the best feeling in the world, man. I love wrestling more than anything. Other than my son and my family, wrestling is my number one.
It's okay. You can say wrestling is your number one here. This is a safe space.
It has been 2 years, though. You had a torn pectoral muscle. When did that occur?
That was the end of January 2024. I forget the exact date. It might 20-something. But yeah, it was on a collision taping. It was against Brian and Claudio me and Eddie, and it was just from a clothesline. It's just one of those freak accidents. It's a move I've done thousands and thousands of times, but it was just wrong angle, and my muscles were probably tight at the time, and it was a unfortunate thing that happened, but honestly, one of the best things that's ever happened to me, because mentally I'm in a better place now.
Okay, yeah,
I want to dig
tell
deeper into that. Yeah. Tell us a little bit more. Like, why are you mentally better now?
So I had to switch perspectives. When I initially got injured, I was very sad. I was down and out. Just got broken up with Santana at the time. Was trying to find myself. Was finally getting to do it with Eddie again, and it just came very abruptly. It's like I finally got my shot. Yes, let's do this, and then bam, injury happened. So it was just a very low moment. My confidence, everything, I just, all self-doubt kind of kicks in. And then I felt that for a while. And then, you could do one or two things. You could either continue down that path or you could do something about it. And I just had to change my perspective and my goals. And just going through that low moment, I was able to come out of it a different person. And I like who I am now. So, yeah.
Aww. I love that.
I love that. Do you have any examples, I guess, from the journey that of moments that kind of changed that perspective?
Sure. It was just realizing when I don't set goals for myself, that's when I'm at a loss. I need something to look forward to. When I'm goal orientated, I do some of my best work. And it was just focusing on the little things and focusing on what I was able to do. Because for post-surgery, for the first couple of months, I couldn't even do anything. I was told to do nothing at all. And I've told this story once before, but not to the AEW audience. I had to get a second surgery a couple of weeks after the initial surgery for my pec.
Whoa.
I got a hematoma. It was gnarly. It was a baseball size thing right
Whoa.
top of my bicep, yeah. Because so it was my pec minor that tore, so that connects to your bicep. So that tendon, something happened, and it swelled up, and I had to get a second surgery, which was, it just prolonged the recovery time because of the second surgery. So so I wasn't able to do much, and I said, okay, what can I start with? Let me start working on mobility. Let me start doing little things that I can do, doing lower body stuff, working more on that. And then it just, all that stuff is boring. It's, just little training, Rocky training montage there. But I just started focusing on the small things and just built and built and built up. And then just setting new goals. And
Hell yeah. So it's interesting when we're like, oh yeah, Ortiz is back, but like you've actually been back on the road for quite a bit. This is just the first time we're seeing you back on AEW television when you came back at World's End to help Eddie out. So what was sort of the plan to get you back in the swing of things? Because obviously you're still recovering, you're still going through rehab. There's one thing to rehab, and then it's another thing to like get your body used to wrestling again, which is a whole other beast. So exactly. How did that all sort of fit into this new goal oriented mindset that you had?
So once I got physically cleared by our doctors, I started doing some independent dates because I needed to get off the ring rust, and just started working and seeing and just watching my tape, seeing what I need to fix. And I'm a perfectionist, for better or for worse. So if something doesn't feel the way it should, or if I'm not getting the reaction that I want, I'm like, okay, I need to adjust and I need to do that. So I started with that. And then AEW then reached out to me and said, do you want to come in for some coaching? Which is what I want to do. Me and Eddie are in the process of opening up our own school. Ooh. So coaching and teaching is very, very an immense passion of mine. I love, because I've had so many great mentors in wrestling, and I just want to pass on that knowledge. I don't want it to be wasted, and I want to help cultivate a change in wrestling culture. You know what I mean? And I'm just thirsty to learn more, and then I'm learning through teaching. So that's cool. But to your point, I got reached out to do coaching. Sorry, went on a side tangent, but
It's all good.
yeah,
It's all good.
it all kind of meshes into what I want to do. Those going back to what I said earlier, goals that I set for myself, and it's kind of perfect that AEW is allowing me to then now do it on a higher level and being in gorilla on the headset and watching the cameras and just working that facet is really cool. It's I'm learning a different side of wrestling, a side of wrestling that I never thought I'd be interested in, but I love it.
God, I love that. So talk to a little bit more about kind of what you've gathered about what that side of professional wrestling that you didn't really know before.
Sure. You're more at a bird's eye view of everything. So I'm looking at it way differently. When I'm performing in the ring and when I'm fighting, when I'm doing what I do, sometimes you get caught in the moment and you're kind of aloof to different things that are going on about you because your mind is elsewhere. So being in the desk and watching it, I'm watching it from a different perspective. Whereas if I do a match and I go back and watch it of mine and I go, I should have did that differently. In the moment, I can see it because I'm on camera and I'm like, oh, okay. And I have a different connection towards the match than the people in the ring. And yeah, just breaking down things and really looking how a match progresses and building to those huge moments and just that aspect of it is very interesting to me because I'm thinking about it more. So I then take that into when I'm performing and okay, I go in with that mindset, if that makes sense.
I feel like that's one of the beautiful things that we see people who do a little bit of coaching, like, because you're not the only one. There's a handful of people who coach a little bit when they come back from injury or as they're starting to get back into it or when they've been injured. And then this is sort of a path where they can still be participating. It's really fascinating to suddenly start watching wrestling from a completely different perspective or even think about it from the product as a whole rather than, I know when wrestlers are in there, they're thinking about their own performance, their own story, even in a team setting, like what does our team look like? How does our team fit into this whole dynamic that we have going on? But you're kind of working on the whole picture from the moment of the first entrance to the moment the last person leaves, right? So it's always fascinating to kind of see wrestling from that different perspective.
It really is. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like it kind of just fits in a lot with your new mindset with, all of this coming out of injury and whatnot. With also the injury, I'm sure, has anything in your sort of style had to change, knowing that you have this sort of injury that you have to keep in mind now?
For sure. I'm very aware of just little things and just placing myself in better positions to avoid that type of stuff. As far as style, I'm still experimenting. I'm still trying to find the right balance of, I love lucha libre style wrestling. I love high spots and all the craziness. I love early 90s Michinoku Pro, which is very near and dear to my heart. And I love that style of wrestling. That's what attracted me towards wrestling. So that's what I try to emulate in the ring. But it's also finding the right balance in between that and knowing my physical limitations, and working on it. I said I was never going to throw a clothesline ever again because that's how I injured my pec. But since I've been back, I've probably thrown 100 clotheslines. So exactly. I kind of got over that very quickly.
Well, this has been an excellent conversation so far, and we've got so much more to go here on AEW Unrestricted. We're here with Ortiz. It's Will and Aubrey. We'll be back after a short break. Stay tuned here. This is AEW Unrestricted.
AEW Unrestricted, Aubrey and Will, and we are talking to Ortiz. He has finally returned on screen to AEW television. You made your big return back at World's End, 0 Hour, coming in to save Eddie Kingston against the Grizzled Young Vets. I want to talk about this kind of a little bit more because I know you had been doing a couple dark matches up to that point to sort of, I'm sure as you mentioned, getting the ring rust off. So what was sort of the impetus for coming back in this big moment?
I just mindset wise coming back from a big moment, I almost put too much on myself because you put all that pressure on yourself and you're you know what I mean. And I had done a few indies before that, and then the dark matches, as you mentioned, against Hook, which is really cool. It kind of all circles back to what I was saying earlier. Hook is a younger talent. He's a friend of mine. So I want to help him out. And the best way to help him out is being in the ring with him and showing him different aspects of it, right? And then I'm getting to flex that mentor muscle, which is cool for me because, again, I've had so many great mentors, and being able to do it for someone is awesome, especially someone that is a friend of yours and someone you respect highly. But yeah, just coming into this match, luckily me and Eddie kind of got the kinks out and did a couple of tag matches before leading up to this. So we had a move set. So yeah, I was just super excited. And a GYV, man, those are some tough SOBs. They marked me up. I also feel like my skin is not calloused anymore. So, oh man, I came out of that match. I came to the back after the match, and there's a little behind the scenes. Chuck Taylor looks at me and he goes, "Are you okay, man?" All my adrenaline was kind of just dumped out my body. And I said, "Oh man." Now I really felt like I was back. And then I proceeded to wrestle 2 more times a couple of days later. But but it was almost right into the deep end of the pool. Let's go. You know what I mean? A match where it was physical, and I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I miss, there's a strange comfort in being beat up and sore that I miss.
Yes.
Well, on that note, one thing I wanted to talk about and get your perspective on is Eddie Kingston. There's really been, I don't think, anybody who speaks more highly of you when you're not around than Eddie Kingston. And I think that it really goes to show how strong you guys' relationship is. And to talk to the audience a little bit about your relationship with Eddie Kingston and how kind of you guys' communication while you were out.
Sure. We both kind of got injured around the same time. I was injured first, but he had the knee surgery. And I just made it a point to, I mean, at this point we're like brothers, man. So when we were both out of injury, I was doing nothing. He was doing nothing. I would go down and visit him, come hang out for a weekend. And, yeah, we just kind of kept each other's spirits high. We were both going through a similar situation, and just talking to each other and venting and coming up with different strategies. You know what I mean? He gives some of the best advice that I've ever had in wrestling and just in life too. Just even when I'm going through something personal, he'll just give me a good perspective, and I always go, man, you're right. And then, you know, he has that smug look on his face. He goes, "Of course, I know I'm right." But,
of course, monkey, I know I'm right.
Exactly. Yeah, we worked with each other back at Impact. That's when we really, I probably met him a couple of times in wrestling before that, but never really met him. And instantly kind of took us in because of Homicide, a fellow mentor of ours, was like, "Hey, look out for these LAX kids." And then, yeah, so ever since then, we just organically build a very strong connection. I mean, we have a lot of the same sense of humor. We like the same wrestling. We like a lot of the same things, video games, anime. So yeah, it was just easy to develop that friendship. And man, he's as loyal as anyone can be. And I love that. And yeah, it's my friend.
It's pretty cool because something like an injury that takes you out for, you know, months, years, whatever, it's almost something you'd never wish on your worst enemy. But at the same time, pretty kind of convenient to have it happen to your best friend at the same time. It's like, yeah, right, well, at least we're both messed up. Like but like that's always the thing I hear with people who have like very, very long injuries is just like the mental struggles of it. It's not necessarily like the physical you can overcome with enough rehab time, attention, all that sort of stuff, but it's the mental side of it. And knowing that you had Eddie to kind of be with you along that whole time is actually really, really cool and super fortunate, despite the circumstances, obviously.
Sure. It's the silver lining and all that mess for sure.
Right. I kind of wanted to go back to because you said like you and Eddie want to open a school, which I think is an absolutely brilliant idea. I think you two are going to be phenomenal teachers just because of your background, your the emotionalness that you guys bring to characters and matches and all this type of stuff. And I know you guys have a seminar coming up. So is that sort of like your entry point into that? Like, let's do a couple seminars, figure this out, figure out how we want to structure stuff.
100%. That is the method behind why we're doing seminars. We need to start doing them so we can learn when we do something wrong or something right and be like, okay, we'll keep this. Hey, this kind of dragged out at this part. Let's, you know what I mean? That's not that important. And just how to really utilize the time given to us, the 3-4 hours or however long it's going to be, and what we can give the people attending the best bang for their buck. Because in wrestling, as you know, there's a bunch of carny places where they're just there to take your money and collect it, and good luck. And you may or may not make it. Who knows? It all depends who you meet along the way. But, you know, there's people that have made it out those circumstances. But our whole goal is to help change wrestling culture internally by producing and trying to have just solid workers just go out there and then they can become who they become based on their experience. But just giving them a solid foundation and just passing on all the knowledge that we still have. And then just bringing in a Jerry Lynn, bringing in a Homicide, bringing in a Billy Gunn to come and do weekend seminars. So you learn from all different type of people.
Hell yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I love it. And honestly, I love hearing, again, just talking about the vibe between you and Eddie and how you guys think so similarly and how you guys have brought it all into what you want to do as far as the training in the school is concerned, and talking about you guys' taste in pro wrestling. And I wanted to bring that kind of full circle because you guys really tagged for the first time back in 2022. And you guys have worked a number of darks, but the first time you guys got to tag on TV was almost a bit of a you've talked recently about this being a favorite match of yours, and I think you know where I'm going with this. But but in a regard to this being almost a dream match for everybody involved, it was you and Eddie versus Konosuke Takeshita and Jun Akiyama, and that took place on Rampage. Talk to me a little bit about that match and why that match stands so highly in your career as one of your favorites.
Sure. I mean, you said it. It really is a career highlight for me. So the type of wrestling, of course, Eddie is very vocal about this, is All Japan Pro Wrestling. And Noah, you know, after Misawa left and started Noah. But All Japan Pro Wrestling is his bread and butter. And the King's Road style, man, I'm a wrestling nerd. So I love that aspect. It's more sports oriented style of wrestling, and the psychology is different, but it's there when you really understand it and watch it. That's why those huge matches, the crowds were going crazy. Normally that's what's around on the internet. You'll see the big blow off matches, and those will be those crazy matches against Misawa or Kawada. But yeah, our mutual love for Japanese wrestling. Again, I love Michinoku Pro. Eddie is indifferent about that style. He came up in Chikara and he goes, "Yeah, I know that stuff. I don't need to watch it." He's like, "I can do it." But he still appreciates it. There's people that are watching Gran Hamada or Taka, those guys, and he'll go, "Okay, for that, they're the top of the top." And yeah, but that's just him. He's a cheeky guy. But yeah, and then Noah, All Japan Pro Wrestling, a big person and all that was Jun Akiyama. You know what I mean? He was the unofficial pillar of the four pillars. And his actual background and everything, his accolades in wrestling. I mean, unreal. I'm again, wrestling nerd, being able to wrestle him. If I could tell that to 14, 15-year-old me, mind blowing, right? And then getting to share the ring with him and just, man, it was just like a full circle moment for me because I dreamed about being in the ring with these guys, and I've gotten to share the ring with so many cool people. I can go off for at least 2 minutes. But it was really cool. It was a very cool moment. It was very surreal, especially when he gave me the exploder. I was just like, oh man, I'm taking his finisher. This is awesome. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite parts of wrestling when it's like we're trying to be these like big scary people on TV, and then it like secretly inside you're like, yes, I get to do this fun thing, this thing that I've been looking forward to doing my entire life. It's just time. Like that's the thing I love about wrestling is you get to see like the personal who someone is coming through the character they portray. And that kind of begs me to my next question. Like you have, you've been synonymous with tag team wrestling for a very long time. You were with Santana before. Now you're with Eddie. I know you've done quite a few singles matches in and around there. What's sort of the thing that has changed in you as a performer, given all of these different factions and tag teams that you've been through?
Sure. Being in a tag team, what's great about being in a tag team is that you can cover each other's weaknesses. You know what I mean? So there's always that aspect of it where you could just accentuate the positives. And I think, especially with me and Santana, we mastered that. We could cover for where we lacked and just highlight each other's strengths. And then the idea was together we're the perfect wrestler. You know what I mean? We're the total package. And I love that part about tag team wrestling. A singles wrestling, I hate. Because then now you're thrown to the deep end, and then where your game is weaker, you now then have to pick up that slack. But I that's a part of growth. I need to be uncomfortable. I need to be put in situations. So that's why I will still do a singles match or whatever, just because I know it's going to benefit me in the long run. I need to be thrown in the deep end. Anytime out of necessity, that's when I grow. If there's no necessity, I'm just, I'll do it later. I'm good. I'm a prolific procrastinator. So yeah.
I love that. And again, I'm continuing to love this conversation. This is continues to be AEW Unrestricted. We're here with Ortiz, and we've got one more break. Stay tuned here on AEW Unrestricted. We'll be right back.
AEW Unrestricted, we're having an awesome conversation with Ortiz, who's back on AEW television, who's been behind the scenes coaching and developing all of these awesome goals for himself. Future school coming up, some seminars, tagging with Eddie Kingston. So much is going on in your life. And it's been great to see you sort of transform both, physically and mentally, just even on this interview, seeing the amount of growth you've had and just how you sort of approach goals and whatnot has been awesome. Also just seeing your utter crazy transformation in the gym and how like you were already on that path prior to the injury, and then coming back, you're still freaking shredded. So that's been really cool to see. Congrats there, man.
Thank you.
Because that's always like years of work. I think people forget about that it's like, it's not just something that happens overnight. You may see the one Instagram photo of like, oh, hey, look at this thing I've been doing for 2 years. And you forget that that's been 2 years. So good on you for staying consistent, because that's really, really freaking hard.
It is. It's still hard. Even though it's happened to me, it's still hard. There's days I do not want to get up. I don't want to go for a run. I don't want to go to the gym because I'm sore. But it's discipline. That's it. I just learned how to slowly develop my discipline, and I do it anyways all the time, unfortunately. Today, I willed myself because I wrestled. we did Collision. I did 2 indie shows, and then I got home, and I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to move earlier, but I did it. So yeah, That's a testament to building discipline. That's all it is.
Proud of you, bud. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
That's really all it is. You've been involved in some major matches at AEW, some of them being, the inaugural Stadium Stampede, you've been in Blood and Guts, you've been in all of these crazy things. And it's great because you get to see all of these individual moments take place, but you get to see these teams kind of function together. What is it like being in these major moments that are a part of AEW's history?
So very, I wouldn't say early on in my career, but earlier in my career, Conan gave me some of the best advice, and it was soak it in, take in the moment always, take that moment to take in the moment, because this is not going to last forever. Your height in wrestling, it's a roller coaster ride. You're never on top forever. So, and we were just in the midst of going through our LAX run, and we're getting all that notoriety, and we're getting all that, having these crazy matches with the Lucha Bros. And he told me that because when you're in the moment, you're just thinking about going. And then before you know it, someone will ask you about it, and you go, honestly, I don't even remember what was going through my head at the time or whatever. It's just being more self-aware and being in the moment. So I took that going into AEW and being in those big matches, just taking it in. The first Stadium Stampede was so awesome. It was such a long day, but it was such an awesome experience. It was wild because we were setting the standard for it, basically. And it was just all of us coming together and just kind of figuring it out. And that's what you got. Yeah, I definitely, I feel every moment. And then the one Stadium Stampede belaying down the screen.
Oh my God.
Man. Oh, I did. Chris was just like, yeah, we're just going to, jump off and bungee off the screen. And I just said, okay. But inside my head, I'm pretty scared. I just I did not want to do it. This is not pro wrestling. What are we doing? This is not wrestling. It's 100% pro wrestling, right? The theatrics of it. And it was very cool. I'm glad I got over that fear. But when I was on the edge, I just did not look over. If I would have looked down, I would have froze up and not went. So once the guy counted down and said, go, I just flung off. And yeah. But yeah, that's a moment that's a core memory. Yeah, just so many cool ones. The first Blood and Guts and the Anarchy in the Arena was probably my favorite pro wrestling match that I've been in the last decade. It was such a fun match to be in. Yes. So I was a backyard wrestler, right? So I used to wrestle on grass and concrete and do all this crazy stuff. So it almost felt, I've trained my whole life for this moment. Fighting in the stadium. It was very cool. It was playing a video game in real life. That's how it felt. It was wild. And then the crowd was so infectious. Each pocket of the stadium had their own different match, because at one point, this never made it to air. We're going to town with 2.0 with Menard and Jeff, just going to town on them and just destroying each other, doing crazy dives, smashing each other's weapons, and it never made it. But it was so much fun for those fans that were in that little pocket. It was a little Fight Club scenario. It was very cool. It was a unique experience for the live crowd, and I think our production team did amazing. I don't even know how they caught what they caught. It was complete chaos, and yeah, very cool moment.
Yeah, I was in the crowd for the exact moment you were describing. And you guys were like right in front of my wife, who had just never seen anything like this in her entire life. And she's just like, it smells like copper. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, it does. And so it's quite an experience. And then, of course, the stat just came to me. You've been in every Stadium Stampede.
Yeah. Because Stadium Stampede veteran over here.
Because we then had the one at Wembley as well.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah. 100%.
So there we have it. You are a Stadium Stampede pro. We almost can't do it. If
there's another Stadium Stampede, I have to be in it.
Yeah, we can't do another one without Ortiz. It doesn't even make any sense. So the thing I wanted to ask then is, talking about everything you've experienced and some of the new kind of discipline mindsets you have now. In this next run of yours, what are some of the things you want to do to kind of challenge yourself and push yourself forward as a performer and maybe step outside of your comfort zone?
Sure. It's stuff that I'm actively working when I do independence. That's why I'm doing independence, because it's almost the same as a stand-up comedian goes to the smaller clubs to work out their material and fine-tune it for the special. AEW is the special for me. You know what I mean? That's where I need to be on my A game. If I'm going to mess up or if I'm going to experiment, I'll do it on the independents because it's in a smaller crowd. And it's kind of, I'll still be upset about it because I'm a perfectionist, but I'll give myself an opportunity to work on it and make sure it doesn't happen when it's crunch time and I'm on Dynamite, I'm on Collision or whatever I'm doing. So I'm just slowly working on those weak parts that I stated earlier. And I'm trying to, I believe there's the right balance of having today's style, especially what's so adamant in AEW, and the old school, how to blend both those things, you know, together. And that's where my mindset is at, because those are the two type of wrestling that I like. There has to be the right middle ground, right? And that's honestly what keeps me going, is trying to find that right middle ground in the way I do pro wrestling, because that could be different for someone else. And then I have Eddie, which is probably has, where is he at? 26. So he has at least a decade over me in pro wrestling. Wow. And when we during tag matches, after the tag match, we were on a car ride and we were talking about the match. And he was saying, okay, do this differently, do this or whatever. And then I'll kind of tell him where my head is at and my ideas, and it'll help scope that with his stuff. And then he'll make me see things that maybe I'm not seeing because I'm too close to it or I'm analyzing it in a different way. So just doing those little things, constantly working on it, constantly trying to fine tune our craft is kind of where I'm at. And it goes back to the discipline that I built, as you stated. And yeah, it's just picking apart the little things and fine tuning it. I don't want to give too much away to inside baseball. That's why I'm being a little vague. But yeah.
I think even with being a little vague, you've opened up quite a bit on this. Like, I think people getting to see the why behind what it is you're doing, because that's something that is often just so not seen. So I have to ask this question, why? Because I heard you just ran your first half marathon.
Yeah.
Why?
So I got into running just because I was dealing with a lot of stress. And I've never been a runner, but I told myself I've always said I want to run a marathon. I want to run the New York City Marathon, right? But you got to start somewhere, right? So I had a friend, honestly, he was kind of the catalyst to get it started. And now I'm addicted to running. I had a friend that was going through a low moment, and he goes, "Hey man, I need a goal. I need something to do. Would you run with me? Let's do a running event." And I said, sure. So at the time he was running about 6 or 7 miles. So I said, hey, why don't we do a half marathon? It would be a perfect first step to do it. Signed up for it. The friend did not train the whole entire time.
No.
But he still ran it. He's a maniac. Shout out to Jose. I'll make sure he'll see this, but he still ran it and he still finished it. But just the training for that, it made me fall in love with running, especially because it was going through a very low. I had a very close friend of mine pass away, a fellow wrestler, Jaka, Jonathan Tyson, a man of many names. But honestly, if it wasn't for running, I don't think mentally I probably would have broke down. Running it out, and there was even some runs where I was just tearing up thinking about it. But it's just having that dopamine rush after a run. I get runner's high, so I just feel better. And especially if I'm thinking about something and I kind of work it out in my head while I'm doing something that's hard, running just became a thing. And because I did the half marathon, I now am training for a full marathon April 19th. Yeah.
Ooh.
So running has become my therapy. It just, I feel amazing after a hard run.
I would love that. I don't think my knees would. So more power to you, bud.
And I guess bringing it back around, do you feel like adding running to your life has improved wrestling for you in any way?
Oh, substantially. My in-ring cardio is 100 times better, especially coming back from injury and doing all that stuff. And nothing beats what we do in the actual ring because we do so much dynamic movements. Our body is twisting and we're jumping and we're exploding and we're getting slammed. So that cardio is very specific, but running is helping me with just having a good foundation and a good base. And yeah, it definitely transfers over.
Hell yeah. I think there's just sort of that, even something that reminds you, like, you have to constantly be breathing and keeping a pace and all these things that just naturally your body has to keep doing so that you don't have to think about those things when you're, punching somebody in the face on TV.
Exactly. 100%. If you're not blown up, then you could just be more in the moment. When you're blown up, you almost go into a fight or flight mode where you're like, oh my God, I can't wait for this match to be over.
Yes. Yeah. I've been in the ring with too many people where that has happened exactly. And maybe you should start a little run club. That's all I'm saying. No shade to anybody, but hey, sounds like it might be working. Maybe that's a Wednesday mornings. Everybody just gets together at the hotel with Ortiz.
You're on to something.
That. Yeah, definitely not texting you because I don't think my niece would take it. But I like the idea. And I loved this podcast. It was awesome. Thank you for having us chat with you today. Thank you for being on and sharing all of these amazing things that you've learned and grown. And just, it's like, I just love your outlook, man. It's just so great. I'm so happy you're back. I love hearing you on headset when you're coaching one of my matches. It's fantastic. And I'm just so happy you're here and wanted to thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It was really cool. I feel better after the conversation, so it was good.
There you go. And now if you go for a run, you'll feel even better.
Look, I'm glad we were able to be therapeutic for you as well. And again, I'm so happy you're back. And folks, don't forget that AEW Unrestricted is sponsored in part by Upper Deck and the AEW SP Game U sets available now. It is the first ever AEW release packed with autographs, tech cards, and real match used relics pulled straight from the ring, including championship gear, event banners, and even a 1-of-1 fork from All In Texas. Grab your box at local hobby shops and hit upperdeck.com to find a store near you. And don't forget, you can listen to this podcast and follow this podcast on AEW Unrestricted at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And check out video episodes on our YouTube channel at AEW Unrestricted and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if you're not an AEW insider, what are you doing? It's time. Yeah. Get early access to ticket pre-sales, special merchandise offers, and more straight to your inbox. Sign up today at AEWTix.com. And don't forget, Dynamite is live every Wednesday on TBS at 8 p.m. and streaming on HBO Max. AEW Collision live every Saturday on TNT and streaming on HBO Max. ROH streams every Thursday on Honor Club. I'm Will Washington. She's Aubrey Edwards. For our guest Ortiz, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Peace.
Ow!